Have you ever watched your dog dig a giant hole in the backyard, only to bury a perfectly good bone or maybe even a shoe? You might have asked yourself, why do they do that? After all, you're already giving your dog plenty of food every day, so what's with the secret stash? Well, it turns out that this habit has everything to do with instincts that go way, way back in time. Long before your dog ever had a comfy bed and a bowl full of kibble. Let's dig into this fascinating behavior and discover why dogs still love to bury their bones. Thousands of years ago, before dogs were people's best friends, they were wild animals living in packs. And life wasn't always easy. Imagine being a wild dog roaming the land, hunting for food, and scavenging for leftovers from larger predators. Sometimes food could be scarce. Even if you found a big, tasty meal, there was no guarantee you'd find another one anytime soon. So, what did wild dogs do when they scored a big meal? They buried it. Burying food like bones was a survival strategy. If a dog found something delicious like a juicy piece of meat, it couldn't always eat it right away. So, to make sure they would have something to eat later, they would dig a hole and bury their food. It was like making a savings account of food, safely tucked away for when times got tough and food was harder to find. This behavior is called creating a food cache. A cache is like a secret hiding spot where animals store things they want to use later. By burying their bones, ancient wild dogs were making sure they had food for when they couldn't find any. So, while it might seem silly now, your dog's bone-burying habit is actually a pretty clever survival technique that helped their ancestors stay alive. Now here's a cool fact. Burying bones wasn't just about saving food, it also helped keep the food fresh. While we store our leftovers in the fridge to keep them cool, ancient dogs didn't have refrigerators. Instead, they used the earth to help preserve their food. When a dog buries a bone, the ground works like a natural refrigerator. The dirt keeps the food cool and hidden from the sun, which helps slow down the process of spoiling. If the food was left above ground, the sun would quickly dry it out, making it less tasty and less safe to eat. But by burying it, dogs were using the earth's temperature to keep their food fresh for later, just like a refrigerator does for our food. Now here's a cool fact. Burying bones wasn't just about saving food, it also helped keep the food fresh. While we store our leftovers in the fridge to keep them cool, ancient dogs didn't have refrigerators. Instead, they used the earth to help preserve their food. When a dog buries a bone, the ground works like a natural refrigerator. The dirt keeps the food cool and hidden from the sun, which helps slow down the process of spoiling. If the food was left above ground, the sun would quickly dry it out, making it less tasty and less safe to eat. But by burying it, dogs were using the earth's temperature to keep their food fresh for later, just like a refrigerator does for our food. Instincts that won't go away. Okay, so your dog doesn't need to worry about where their next meal will come from, thanks to you, the wonderful dog owner. But why does your dog still bury bones if they have all the food they could ever want? Dr. Chiribasi, a well-known veterinarian, explains that some behaviors, like burying bones, are deeply ingrained in animals. That means they're part of an animal's instincts, natural behaviors that are hard to change, even after thousands of years of domestication. Think about it this way. Even though humans don't have to store food for survival anymore, grocery stores and refrigerators make that a lot easier. We still have the instinct to stock up on things, just in case. Maybe you keep an extra box of cereal in the pantry, or a few cans of soup for emergencies. Your dog's bone-burying habit works the same way. Even though your dog doesn't need to worry about where their next meal is coming from, their instincts are still telling them, better stash that bone for later, just in case. It's not just about food. While food is a big part of the reason dogs bury bones, it's not the only reason. Some dogs also bury bones to protect their stuff. Dogs are territorial animals, which means they like to claim things as their own and make sure no one else takes them. Think about it, when your dog digs a hole and buries a bone, they're saying, this is mine and I'm gonna keep it safe. Imagine if your dog found a shiny new toy or a favorite chew, what would they do with it? Sometimes they'll bury it to make sure no one else can take it. This is another reason why some dogs bury bones. It's a way of protecting their prized possessions. So even if your dog has plenty of food and toys, they might still feel the need to bury a bone just to make sure no one can take it. Whether it's food or a toy, burying bones is one way dogs show how much they care about their stuff. Now let's take a moment to think about just how funny it is when dogs bury bones. Have you ever seen your dog get super excited about burying something, only to forget where they put it? They might bury a bone and then wander off, looking completely confused when it's time to find it again. It's like they've hidden their treasure so well, even they can't remember where they put it. And sometimes they don't even bury bones. They bury shoes, socks, or even your homework. It might seem like your dog is just being mischievous, but in reality they're following the same instincts that their ancestors did. It's just that now, they're not burying leftover meat, they're burying whatever they can find. If your dog loves to dig in the backyard, you might be thinking, great, now I have a hole to fill. But did you know that some dogs even try to bury things inside the house? Yes, that's right. Your dog might dig up the carpet or try to hide their bones in your living room. This behavior is still linked to their instincts, even though they don't need to worry about food anymore. When dogs dig and bury things inside, it's often because they feel the urge to protect their treasures, or because they want to create a little hideaway. Maybe they're just trying to feel safe, or they want to play a game of hide-and-seek with their food or toys. Whatever the reason, this is just another way your dog shows that their instincts are strong, even in your cozy home. So the next time you catch your dog digging a hole in the backyard or sneakily burying a bone in the living room, remember, it's not just a random or silly behavior. Burying bones is part of your dog's deep, ancient instincts, habits that help their ancestors survive and stay safe. Even though your dog doesn't need to worry about finding food in the wild anymore, these instincts still live on in your furry friend. Burying bones is a way for dogs to prepare for tough times, keep their food fresh, and protect their stuff. It's a fascinating reminder of how dogs have evolved over thousands of years, and how their wild ancestors still influence their behavior today. So the next time your dog digs a hole or buries something, don't be too quick to judge. They're just following their instincts, one paw at a time. And who knows? Maybe your dog has a secret stash of hidden treasures in the backyard, just waiting for you to discover them. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more to come.